What's up, guys? And a specific person. There's a lot I want to cover in this one video and in a short amount of time, so let's get started. You know what I'm actually going to do, and I'm actually going to start my stopwatch to see how long we can go in this video without crying, because yes, I will admit there is a 99.8% chance that I'm going to cry during this video. And it's okay, I've come to terms with it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. So I think the first thing I want to start off with is this is a memoir, an apology, and it's also a honorary video for someone that I hold high respect for. Now, again. For the past 7 years of my life, I have been in a relationship, and it may only seem like it was not posted about or talked about for the last year, because around the same time last year, me and my ex had broken up for the first time, both of which I had done the leaving, and both of which I do not regret, because I had reasons for doing so, because people that know me know that is a very rash decision to not be taken lightly. But this video is more of letting you into my mourning phase, because it really has been a tough week, because something happened. Sunday was my birthday, and I remember saying that Monday is going to be the real challenge, with a new year, a new day, new choices to be made, all that good stuff. On Monday, I get a garment bag, I get an Amazon package, and I get a text message, all of which are from my ex, and that is you. I opened the garment bag, and it has a graduation cap and gown, which I had not bought yet, because, this whole COVID thing, why even have a cap and gown yet? There's no commencement ceremonies. She had it engraved, customized, and not only that, with the quote that's on my Instagram bio, which is "motivated not to live a normal life," which I still live to every day. There was also this 3-page letter. In the bag, there was also a flyer saying that she had paid for a photo shoot. Later in the day, I got another package, and it was a marble cutting board. And if anyone is familiar with price ranges of kitchen products, marble cutting boards are on the higher scale. And it had my name engraved on it. Not only my name, my Instagram name, because I've been doing these daily cocktails. And then there was one more thing that I got that night. It was a text message from you, because you couldn't get through to me on my old number because it was blocked. You're not blocked on social media. And I want to point out, the reason I'm doing this on video is because it makes you more aware of the things that you're saying and the words that you're saying, because words hold a very strong power. When you're typing something, it's very easy to delete it and reword it exactly how you wanted to say it. But in this way, it forces me to be very aware of the things I'm saying and how I want to say it and what I want to get out of this. As soon as I opened the video links, after I had read what it said, basically saying that our last interaction was not the memory she wanted to have of me, and not the memory I wanted to have, not the memory that she wanted me to have of her. So this was her idea of a grand gesture. So I called it off last year around the same time, like I said. And then a few months go by, we end up trying to see if things are going to work out. We even go to couples therapy, because even though we're not married, we never got the paperwork or rings, which honestly is not our fault. There were people who are not letting us live our own lives, who I think have caused a lot of, I don't know, unnecessary tension in our relationship, where it should be just a relationship based on two people. It was never really that. We went to couples therapy because no matter how bad it was, we weren't like the toxic couple that's like every year breaking up and getting back together, every week breaking up, getting back together. We went for a solid good amount of time. But after a few years, I felt like I knew I wasn't really dating the same person I fell in love with. And I think, from this letter, from the gifts, from the videos, from what she looks like now on her Instagram, and I will be very open, yes, who isn't going to look at their ex's page once they've broken up? You can't be together with someone for 7 years and not be curious what they're up to. I'm doing pretty good on time, guys. We got a whole 5 minutes in, almost 6 minutes, no tears. I'm stoked. I feel like this is good. This is good. This really is the next step. So I really knew I wasn't dating the same person that I fell in love with. When I opened the video links, I instantly, insta-cried. I've never cried faster. I actually laughed after I started crying because, it was instant cry. The reason the videos of all the things meant so much to me is because I remember on our first year together, she had made a YouTube video called A Year with My Best Friend, and it was highlights of everything that, we used to find fun together. We went skydiving, we went to music festivals, we went to, all these different things. I remember our first Christmas, she didn't have a lot of money, so when I went on a snowboarding trip by myself where I just took a bus up the day to Tahoe, she found my car where I parked it because my car was new at the time. And I remember making jokes about how I wanted some import model, pictures where she's leaning on my car and some thong and shit. But she didn't wear thong, it was clothes. But I still thought it was very nice of her, and it was a whole video on how she went about that process and how she spent the whole day doing that. And that's the person that I fell in love with, and that's the person who I know she really is. She loves making videos. She loves, ever since she was a kid, she loved making videos, and that's her way of expression. So that was really emotional for me, and when I opened them, I opened it and I closed it. I could not watch it. I could not listen to them and honestly, it would have made this whole breakup process easier. Wanting to chalk it up to, just she's crazy or whatever. That's another version of me motivated not to live a normal life, is having that kind of breakup and having that kind of hatred and anger towards your ex-significant other. That's a normal relationship. That's an average one, and that's not something I ever strive to do or ever strive to be. So I feel like this video is a real growth within just a couple weeks span. It's actually been a month now. So, we went that pretty much from year 6 to year 7, which was, year 7 was in February of being in each other's lives. That was the biggest year of my life, me, for growth. And it brings up another topic which has been very controversial for me to even talk about because, I have family on here, I have people that are very into church and small-minded people and people from small towns who look at this kind of thing and is like, oh, he's a druggie or something. But it's actually my use of psychedelics and how it has helped me in my mental health and my mental journey. I thought, a lot of people did, it's just a party drug. I did a little bit of research on it before I really had my first experience, but I never really dove deep into what they really are, what they're for, what they're about, and all that good stuff. So after I broke it off the first time, I thought it was always so funny. I would hear rumors from people saying that the story going around was, oh, yeah, he did mushrooms and he decided he didn't love me or whatever, or didn't want to be with me. And it was funny to me because that's really not what it is. And then once you're someone who really understands psychedelics and you really understand what that person's about now, you're like, well, that's probably what he felt like he needed to do, and that's probably what he felt like was best for him. Um, no matter how much pain she was going through personally, I was always the giver in the relationship, and I will say that unapologetically, and she knows that, and I think she figured it out. I'm talking to you, sorry, this is for you. You have figured that out, that I was the giver in the relationship for majority of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of it. So when I had my first experience with psychedelics, it was actually pretty fun. It was like at a club or whatever. No, it was not a club, it was at a bar. And then the next day I did it again with that person. Totally different experience. That's a whole other story. I don't know if we're ever going to. But yeah, what she didn't know is that after that first experience, I really felt like I had, been awoken. Like people say, you're awoken, you're woke, or you're being woken up, you're awake. And it's true. Like I really felt like I can feel energies, and I could read signs better, and I could tune into people's emotions even better than I could before, because I feel like I'm pretty good at that now. So it was really hard for me just hearing that was the narrative. And for that, like the whole next of the year, she didn't know, but I would be, dosing, and I would be engaging in my psychedelic use, because it really is a gateway to new neural pathways and how you think and how you connect your past traumas, your past celebrations, your past relationships, and to who you are now. And that's something that I think people in general are never really going to understand until they embark on that psychedelic and that mental journey for themselves. People that don't like it, or, it's not for everyone. I will say it is. I can't forget to say it's not for everyone. But if you are someone that's willing to embrace the loss of control, it's an experience of rebirth. You are taken to places within your mind that you have normally been scared to go, and that cause anxiety and that cause depression. So I really was in tune to that, and I understood that, and I really felt a new sense of gratitude and happiness, and I tried to preach that, and you can see I try to preach that on here on the daily. I try to preach happiness. Happiness is not, and from one of the videos that I watched, I'll come back to that, sorry. Happiness is knowing that in dark times, and even in fear, and even in the lowest of your times, you have to find that something that is telling you, look, the sky is still blue. These plants, this is fake grass, but the plants right there are still green. There are still animals and babies being born. Find happiness in even the smallest of things, even if it's not in your life. If you see someone else having a great day, like I love coming on here and seeing people like do something really cool, or like finish a project, or talk something about themselves that they've never opened up to before. That's awesome to me, and I find real happiness in that. I love seeing people be very vulnerable, and I was with someone for a long time who didn't understand really how powerful those emotions are, and I really am, like I said, an emotional person. So I got tired of just wanting to hide those or pretend like I'm just being dramatic or whatever, because they should be taken seriously. The videos that you sent me were called self-care sessions. That's another reason why I automatically cried, was because when I saw that video, I knew that you had kind of started to get it, that all that preaching I had done, it wasn't bullshit, it wasn't blowing smoke up your ass, it really was trying to help you. And even though it almost felt like even though we weren't great, it felt like you would get mad or have some resentment because I could find this happiness, and I could be at peace, and I could sleep well at night, even with all of our problems that we had together. And that's something that I couldn't give to you. You have to figure that on your own, whether I'm talking to the person this video is intended for, or someone who is just watching this video because they have 20 minutes to spare. You have to work on that yourself. You have to find your own happiness. You have to build that mental strength on your own, because no one else is going to do it for you, and no one else can do it for you. It's literally just you. And I say that all the time. I know I've said that a million times. So basically what I want as this now is just I'll retract. Stop. I'm going to a new part of the story. So before I even watched those videos, like I said, I couldn't watch them. I couldn't bring myself to watch those videos because, like I said, this process would have been a lot easier chalking it up to being with someone who, no, she's crazy, whatever. That's not what it really is. That's another reason why I'm making this video too, is because I publicly, and it's embarrassing for me, I publicly went on my story and was calling you a narcissistic sociopath, because it was unfathomable to me how someone, let me reword this. It was unfathomable to me how just all the signs were being ignored, and everything that I was trying to communicate was just being taken in the wrong way. It's not that you were a narcissistic sociopath. It's simply I was with someone who did not know how to love themselves. And I told them that. And I told them, I think one of the things that they held on to the first time I broke up with you is I said, I don't love you the same. I never said I don't love you. And I always want you to remember that, because that's something that you have to tell yourself. I never said that I don't love you. I always just said I don't love you the same, because you were a different person. When we moved to Vegas, things were just different. So I went, before I even started watching the videos, I went to your Instagram to see how you were holding up, or to see where these videos were coming from, to see if the videos were matching the energy and the aura that this person was feeding and giving off. The only thing I wish I could do is rewrite some of your story that you put on one of your posts where you talk about your story, but that's not my story to write. And if that's how that person decides they want to move on by having the story where they were in it by themselves, more power to you. These letters, these videos, the gifts prove to me that that it was not just you. So instead, I would give a little bit of my story to back it up. Like I said, everything I do has always been out of emotion. I didn't know what I wanted to do. A girl came into my life who thought that I could be worth more, or that I could do more. And she challenged me to go to school. And at first I was doing it for her, and I found no real success. I didn't want to go to class. I actually got dropped from classes when I went back, because I was doing it for her. I wasn't doing it for me. And then I really started to do it for me, and I started to excel. I started to do well in school. I started to find my groove with jobs, my worth and my skill and what I do now. It really kind of started to fall into place once I started doing it for me. Again, this is all based off of emotions. Like, because of my love for this one person, I was going to change. I was going to go to school. I was going to be good at something. I was going to have a direction. I wanted to make a life for us. Then another example is a couple years into it, we decided, or that person decided, you decided, you wanted to leave your job that you were at. You had already graduated college on your own. I mean, your mommy and daddy, not mommy and daddy money, but that was the degree that mom and dad paid for. And then you decided that it wasn't something that you liked, So you wanted to do something you wanted to do and go to nursing school here in Vegas. You ventured off and no one stopped you. But at the same time, you wanted me to go with you. And without hesitation, literally, we talked about it. The next couple days, I told the roommates and the landlord I was staying with at the time, I said, all right, guys, late. Like, I'm packing up. This girl wants me to move out there with her, and we're just going to start our own lives. That just goes to show you how much I let my emotions run my life. I picked up everything. Literally, like, more debt to my name. I had probably, in terms of real money, no value at all. Yet I still came out here to make a life of my own. I got into bartending out here. I finished school at UNLV, one of the top schools in my industry. I work at a very well-recognized hotel, and I'm doing all of this because I felt like it was my journey with this person that I was here with, because she really had made me realize that I have so much more to give and I have a lot more work to do. So I think that's the only part of my story I'm ever not scared of, and that's never going to ever be changing, is that the reason I'm sitting here in Las Vegas is because I loved a girl so much that I was willing to see, that's why I'm doing this video, because I was willing to invest, so you reword things. I was willing to invest in myself and grow, and all that fear of moving out here without even knowing if I got into UNLV, all the moving out here without even knowing who I was moving in with, and that's what I just felt like my goal was. That's always going to be my story. I think what I will finish it off with is a quote on a true example on how I felt that you were my first real romantic soulmate. Now, the difference between soulmates and a twin flame, if you guys have ever looked into it or whatever, you're going to have multiple different soulmates in your lifetime. And here's what it says a soulmate is. Your soulmate usually comes into your life to shake things up, wake you up, and prepare you for life. However, your soulmate usually understands you better than anyone else, and through them, you become better. You kind of embark on a self-betterment journey yourself to become your greatest version. This is because they have shown you your strengths, weaknesses, and areas in your life that may need tweaking, and you begin the process of working on yourself. In addition, these beautiful soulmates are your personal reminders too. They pop into your lives temporarily to remind you of what you have been forgetting. You're writing, singing, creating, imagining, dancing, or simply living, as opposed to merely just existing. They light the spark, they get the fire going, they are the gentle nudge. Sometimes they stay, other times move on depending on the type of relationship you both shared. But they usually will leave you appreciative and often breathless. They remind you to be alive, vibrant, and hopeful. No tears yet. I almost got emotional, but no tears, so I'm still keeping that stopwatch going. So you, this person who is truly intended for, you really were my first romantic soulmate. And it proves to me that no matter all that pain that we went through on each other's ends and all the things that we put up with, when it was bad, it was very, very bad. But when it was good, it was really, really fucking good. I remember specifically, the reason I say a lot of people don't ever have a relationship like this is because a lot of you don't. You hold that resentment and that anger for people, and me doing this video as my closure, as opposed to just trying to wipe my hands clean of you. I want to be an example of, because for a long time we were the power couple and we were goals when that was like advertised, when we wanted to be that. So I not only want to be a goals couple or a relationship and when we're good, but in the bad times and in the closure, and knowing that you deserve more than me just saying fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Like literally a million times, so many fuck yous came out. And it sounds bad to say I'm not sorry for all those fuck yous that came out, because it was just years of pent up anger and aggression. And it was like my low vibrating self coming out to that hurt self. And I will say that one thing, the only thing out of the near hour of videos that was sent to me and all the editing, the only one thing that I disagree with and that you got wrong was when you talked about how what I did to you when I left was not only say fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, because obviously I'm mad, the reason I'm leaving, or the reason I left, but was I also messaged your parents and your family, because I wanted them to know that I was not leaving for no not good reason, like for no damn reason. I felt like, I don't know, I guess I'm apologizing for that too. I felt like I needed them on my side because, you know, it wasn't me. You worded it as, you know, he wanted to show how much mentally stronger he was and he wanted to hurt me. That was his way of showing he was stronger. When in reality, that was really pure weakness. That was pure acting out of rage, anger, emotion. That was not my peak of mental strength. That was actually one of the lower peaks of mental strength. So that's the only thing you got wrong. That was not me being high and mighty and claiming that I'm mentally powerful. That was me, someone who is very hurt, trying to hurt you. Because like you said in your video, hurt people. And that was very true on both of our sides. So to wrap this all up, I guess, the meaning of this video is, like I said, to let you in on my mourning and my grieving process, because some of the best artists and the people I look up to most, and I would like to think back in the days of Aristotle and Socrates and Heraclitus and all them, I would have been one of those people seeking out to be one of their students, and I wouldn't be one of those gladiator types, and I would not be fighting lions and shit for people's, you know, attention and for their praise and how strong I was because of my physical strength. I really want to expand my mental strength. The reason I did not watch those videos the day that they were sent to me is because I know that old Jared would have probably wanted to just would have been like, wow, I think I see real change now. This is what I wanted to see. Please, we can work this out. I know I left all those times, but you really are making a difference now, and you're really putting in that effort in your mental health, and you really seem happier, and I think we can do this together. But the new Jared understands that this growth that we have to undergo has to be alone, and it has to be separate. And I just think it's funny that the day that I started this new program with a new coach and a new shadow work goal was the day I received all these gifts that wanted to pull me back in. Talk about divine timing and, all that stuff. But yeah, so I just want this to be a light video, and I don't want any more darkness. And this is really a goodbye. I think I'm gonna stop the clock because we made it 30 minutes, guys. I think that's a real fucking record. 30 minutes. The tear hasn't dropped yet, but it's there. This is really essentially what this whole 30-minute video was a goodbye and my closure to the person that I had not seen for a very long time. When I opened those videos, I knew that that was the person that I had not seen in a very long time, and that I had not said goodbye to yet, and I didn't think I would ever have to, because I didn't know if she would ever come back. But seeing those, and seeing how you smile bigger now and you're being more vulnerable, that only comes from what we're going through now, and that only comes from doing this on your personal journey, and me starting this new journey on my mental excursions. I want you to be stronger for you. You grew up in an environment where you had to push down a lot of your emotions and a lot of who you really were. I grew up in an environment where I was more than happy and more than free to be whoever I wanted to be and to express however it needed to be, whether it be yelling, whether it be crying, whether it be silence, whether it be walking away for a little bit. Expression, you need to have that strength for you, because that's what I realized when you are really breaking away from your past life now. And I'm very excited for you and everything that's going to happen for you. I'm very excited for me and everything that's going to happen for me. And I cannot thank you enough for who you have made me today, because I would not be the Jared Rios that I am today without you. Sorry, I would not be the Jared Jordan Alexander Rios I am today without you, Marissa, and Antonio Gomez. So be strong, be happy, and there's so much that is coming your way, and there is so much coming my way. And we understand now that can only be on our own. And I have broken away from that person who thought that he needed you in his life to show you the direction, because everything that literally everything, I forgot to mention, I moved here to Vegas because of her. I coach at F45 because of her, because she wanted to try it out first. I work at where I work at now because of her, because she helped me do the walk-ins. Literally, I walked in, not just doing online applications. She walked with me up and down the strip in the degrees, in the fucking heat out here, bro. It's like 100 and something all the time. That was because you were helping me all along. But now I have reached a point where I understand that I can do this all myself, and I don't need you as someone to tell me my direction in life. You placed me in that direction, and my work ethic and who I am and my emotions have made me thrive and have allowed me to thrive and allowed me to succeed. But it was your placement that I am grateful for. And in your video, you also said, I think it's funny that you like the protein. This is a small funny example. I drank this protein shake all the time after, not all the time, but after a lot of our workouts at the gym. And she tried it, and she pretended she didn't like it. And it was like, ew, no, that's gross. Like, yeah, it's okay, but whatever. And now in one of your videos, you are admitting that you have that shake all the time, and it is really good, and it's one of your favorite. So that just shows a big growth from you, that you are not trying to, be better than anyone. I don't know if that's a stupid example, but you really are changing your narrative. Like, something that I liked, you didn't want to like, but now you really enjoy. And the things that I used to say to you when it comes to being happy, you understand now that you're not going to be happy all the time. Happiness is not laughing, and it's not, having smiles all the time. Happiness is knowing that you're experiencing growth, whatever is in your way right now. So before this gets too long, it's already been 35 minutes, which is pretty damn long. Even if it's only you that watches this video, that's only who it was intended for. Raw, unedited and uncut. So this really is my goodbye, my last word, my closure, I guess. Of course, we're probably gonna see each other around. We live in the same town. That's also like something I had to deal with after once I went through that self-realization. I was like, is this really the life that I wanted? Like, I moved out here because of a girl, but like, do I even want to be here anymore? Do I even want, like, that's all this shit, like, whatever that you think about. But anyway, this is a thank you. I will be using the cutting board for tonight's drink as part 3 to this closure series. I wish you nothing but the best, and I wish me nothing but the best, and I wish, I guess we can always wish things ended differently, but they don't, and they don't. So, Jared out.